All right, we're recording now. Welcome to tonight's call. This is Wednesday, August 21st, 2019. And so I want to welcome everyone who is able to join in during the live call, but letting you know that it will be posted to the team page, community page, as soon as we are finished here tonight. So this is the way it's going to go. I'm talking tonight about time management, specifically owning your time. And everyone that I talk to in today, especially in today's day and age, everyone is always talking about how they're busy and they don't have time for this, and they set great intentions at the beginning of the day or the beginning of the week, and then somehow every single night the same, or at the end of every single week the same thing happens. We get to the end of the day, the end of the night, and we say, oh crap, I still never did that one thing that I said that I was going to do. And before we know it, it's week after week after week that has stacked up, and we have never actually followed through with the things that we've told ourselves we were going to do. And what happens when that happens is we get frustrated. We start to feel like we're never going to accomplish anything. We get very negative self-talkiness going on in our brains, and we start wanting to just give up. Like, it really just, we get burnout, we get exhausted, we start to numb ourselves by reaching for other things to try to fill that frustration or fill the void of where we ache to fill our life with the thing that we desire, but that we're not actually acting on. And action is what actually starts to produce all the positive emotions that we set the goal for in the first place, that we want to experience. But then we feel like our hands are always tied. We always feel like, we're constantly running out of time. And so what I wanted to do was to just very simply share with you some strategies and some tips and some things that I've learned to help me, despite all the things going on as a mom and a wife and an instructor, and even, these were things that I put into place whenever I was in ministry and also working, and, new mom with new babies in the house, and just when you have so many different things going on and you feel pulled in so many different directions, and you feel like, where am I going to find the time, and how am I ever going to get these things accomplished? And instead of going down the pit of feeling like a big failure, being able to really establish some boundaries and some creative space in your day to be able to accomplish those things, and to start to take those actions, and to be realistic about it. Do it in such a way that you aren't just in this constant dreaded hustle mode, but that you actually are creating your own kind of balance in life, where you're able to ebb and flow in and out of all the different types of seasons of life that we experience, but still moving towards the goals that you set for yourself, that that you want for yourself, and living more joyfully, because you are, in all intents and purposes, you are living in the success mode that, and what I mean by that is you are living in the place where you feel most successful in life. It doesn't mean that all the goals have been immediately accomplished, because you don't have to wait to accomplish the goal in order to be happy. You're happy and you're at peace and you're joyful in your day because you're not feeling stressed and frustrated about something that is important to you, but that you're not able to act on. You see what I'm saying? So here we go. I'm going to do a quick share screen, and we are going to get started. So I'm going to start. Oop, where did it go? There it went. All right. So let me go into. Oh, here we go. And I'm going to scroll up. I know I had it on presentation mode just a moment ago. Oh, I'm on the, that's why. Okay, just a moment. get through these first 2 slides. Go back. There we go. All right, so owning your time, how to do all the things, grow your biz, and still have a life worth posting about. Because the number one thing that I want to make sure that I make very clear, whenever I'm saying owning your time and we're talking about time management, I'm not talking about creating this ongoing, never-ending hustle that you are always working in every space of your day in order to accomplish your goals. What I'm actually talking about is creating the space to work on your goals, but in such a way that you still are able to live and enjoy life, okay? So whatever your goals are, just like when we are trying to set time for creating time to do a workout, or creating time to plan our meals, or create, when our children are about to get ready to go to school and we have to plan the time to get them registered and buy the supplies. I mean, all those things require us to create time for something that that before that point, we did not have to do, right? So, but it's all with the purpose of being able to get somewhere that we want to be. And so I just want you to have peace of mind right now. So here we go. What are your when we're talking about this, the first thing that we want to, I'm going to put us over here. The first thing that we want to be looking at is the first thing we want to be asking ourselves is, what are your top priorities and why? Now that question why is so important, because we need to be emotionally connected to what we say our priorities are. So if we need to, give ourselves permission to get very clear on what we want our life to look like, okay? What are the benefits that we want outside, or like if we're pursuing the goals that we're setting for ourselves, right? So let's say we're talking about coaching and creating a goal around rank or income, right? So we might say, okay, well, I want to achieve emerald, or I want to achieve diamond. It's not really about the emerald or the diamond, is it? I mean, our soul, our emotional side doesn't really give a flip about whether our rank says emerald or diamond next to our name in the back office, does it? Not really, no. Now, if we took it a step further and we said, well, what does emerald and diamond represent to me? What does it mean to me? Then we kind of have to start to look at, okay, so what are the benefits that I get from achieving that specific rank? So like, it's just the same thing as if we were setting goals for weight loss or for physical fitness. So if we were to say, well, why do I want, if we were to say, I want to set a goal of accomplishing a certain dress size. Well, what is that certain dress size? What does it mean to you? What is it that you imagine you are going to feel and experience being at that size? Your brain, your soul, your emotional, your heart doesn't really care about the tag and what the number is on your jeans. What it cares about is what it's going to feel like, what you imagine it's going to feel like when you're finally in that set of jeans. And it's not just about, oh, I'm going to feel really proud of myself for accomplishing it. No, that it's actually like there's going to be a level of new confidence that comes. Maybe it's about the comfort that you would feel in your own skin, like from doing everyday things, like, when you sit down in the car and you snap that seatbelt across the belly, or when your spouse and your reaches out and puts their hand around your stomach, that comfort level, like, that the last time you were at that certain dress size, or maybe you've never been at that certain dress size, but someone who is, and you're like, man, I know that if I was there, my health problems would be gone. I would feel more comfortable and more confident in my skin. I would be more comfortable even just sitting in my chair every day at work. Some of my back pain would be gone. So those same kind of things, if you're talking about achieving goals within your business, if you're looking to achieve emerald or diamond, okay, well, what does that mean? Okay, what does that mean to you? So if I'm like looking at the fact that I want to establish a goal of achieving, you know, I want a payout of $5,000 a month, right? Well, what does $5,000 a month mean to me? What is it? What kind of impact does that make in my life? You know, what does it look like whenever that actually happens? So if I had an extra $5,000 a month, you know, maybe that means that we would be able to take an extra family vacation. Maybe that means that I could quit the second job that I'm working, you know, and I would be able to focus more on the job that brings me the most happiness. You know, maybe it would build more flexibility to that so that I'm able to travel more and, you know, be with my family who lives out of state, or just to be able to go travel for leisure and for fun. Whatever it is, there is an emotional reason attached to the thing, right? And so when if when we're starting to sit down and create the time in order to do the activities when that are required in order for us to achieve the goal, when we sit down to do the things, if we aren't emotionally connected to why we're sitting down and disciplining our flesh to do the things, then we're going to check out and we're not going to do it, because our flesh and our mind, you know, isn't, and even our heart, like, it's not motivated by just, I need to get this done. It's you know, at that point, it's just a to-do list. So we want to take it out of the to-do list realm where it doesn't mean anything, and it's just a certain rank, or it's just a certain dollar figure, or it's just a certain number on the scale, or whatever it is. We want to move it over from that thing, from how we initially defined it, over into the emotional space. What is it really going to feel like in my life? That's where we want it to be. And then what we do is that's why vision boards were made. That's why people started clipping out images from magazines and stuff and writing words that are significant to them. Like, you know, like freedom, you know, or trips, or Italy, whatever it is, you know, and pictures of what they want their life to look and feel like. And we put it all over the place so that when we're moving through our house, when we're sitting down to look at that computer and do the things, or we're picking up our phone to do the things, we see the image that makes that emotional connection very real and present, so that we are immediately motivated. We go from tired and, you know, like kind of feeling unmotivated to do it, to a motivated state, because we're going, oh yeah, I really want this, because I want to feel like that, whatever that emotion is that gets stirred up when we see that picture, right? So I have some notes here. It says, give yourself permission to get very clear on the type of business you want to grow and how it benefits your life priorities right now. Does this, and when you're looking at, you know, when you very easily get off task, or you're not doing the things that you know you should be doing, you know, and I don't like the phrase shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know, and I don't want you to feel like you're in a place where you're just filled with a bunch of I should be doing this. I want you to, what happens is when we make that emotional connection, we are no longer in a shoulda mindset. Instead, we are in a I get to mindset, right? So if I know that I have set aside time for me to accomplish certain tasks that day that are going to help move me toward my goal, and instead I'm chilling out watching Netflix and eating ice cream, well, I need to look at that activity and say, okay, does this Netflix and ice cream time fit into my priorities right now? Now, it doesn't mean that I never take Netflix and ice cream time. It just means, is this the best time for me to have my Netflix and ice cream time? Or would my time be better served with love you, good night, with taking action on the activities that I know will move me towards my goal, right? I can do Netflix and ice cream later, maybe. Okay, so asking yourself the questions: what are my top 3 to 4 business goals, or, you know, and why? What significance do they have to me? How do they make my life better? And if you accomplish I have several typos because I typed this so fast today. If you accomplish these goals, how will they impact your life? When will you find the time? Okay, so we're going to help you kind of walk through that win part in just a moment. How much time do I need to devote to reach those goals is an actual question that you need to ask yourself when you're trying to find the when you will do it. Ask yourself, okay, well, how much time is actually going to be required in order for me to achieve that goal? And to achieve it in the time that I'm comfortable with, right? So let's say that, so like just recently I said I did a training for our team that was talking about achieving Emerald, which is 2 coaches on your team in 24 hours. And so let's say that you set yourself a goal of signing up those 2 coaches in your 24-hour time period. Let's be generous and say 2 days, right? So you said, I'm going to sign up a coach tomorrow. I'm going to call my mom up and I'm going to have her sign up as a coach. And then I'm going to tell my husband, hey, I'm going to sign you up as a coach, and boom, I'm going to be Emerald by Thursday, right? So, but the first question you had to ask yourself was, okay, how much time do I actually need to do it? Let's do something that's a little bit longer than that though, okay? Let's talk about Diamond. Diamond is 12 coaches, okay? So, but we're not going to be taught, our brain first goes to a very limiting belief where it says, oh my gosh, if it took me 2 days to sign up 2 coaches, and those were people that already know, like, and trust me, and they're my closest people in my life, my mother and my husband. Well, but 12 coaches, and I have no idea where they're going to come from, and so that's going to take me a really long time. See the limiting belief that is monitoring how long it's going to take me, and so then I start to set myself some kind of astronomical amount of time, and I say, oh well, that's going to take me a year to reach Diamond. Well, a year is exponentially longer than what it should take you to be able to achieve it. You could achieve it in a much shorter amount of time. Like most people can achieve it in 60 to 90 days, usually, when they have all the right activities in place. So you have to ask yourself, not just how long it's going to take me based on a limiting belief, but also which one is going to help, is going to align itself most with what my goal really is. Now, remember we talked about the goal being emotional and connected to an emotional thought or a feeling, and that sense of joy of the quality of life that you want to come out of achieving that goal, right? So let's say that reaching Diamond signifies to you or represents to you a certain pay bump, right? That income that we talked about. We said, okay, if I reach Diamond, I'm going to that means to me that I'm going to be making at least let's say $2,000 every 2 weeks or whatever. And then so because we've done the math, we've run the numbers, and I'm just throwing out numbers right here. Please don't quote me on these numbers. I'm just example. Let's say that we say, okay, Diamond to me represents $2,000 every 2 weeks, an extra $1,000 a week that I would be making as Diamond. And again, it's not about the number. So wait, what does that $1,000 mean to me every single week? And I attach it to something. So let's say that one of my personal goals is to create a vacation for my daughter. She asked if she could go to Universal Studios. She really wants to go see the Harry Potter world or whatever, right? So I have I really want to provide that experience for her. I never got to experience something like that as a kid. She's really been working hard, and I want to give that to her. And I have an emotional reason for wanting to provide that to her, but I need to create that extra $1,000 a week in order to be able to justify bringing her to this. And I want to be able to gift it to her from that income that I'm creating. So I need to think, well, when is it that I really want to have that extra cash flow happen? Am I comfortable with achieving that goal in 60 or 90 days? In a year versus 69 days? Or is it somewhere between the 90 days and 365 days. You see what I'm saying? So we need to be comfortable with how much time we're setting ourselves to actually achieve the goal, and be realistic with, okay, how long is it going to actually take me, how, you know, to achieve it? And so you also are looking and so if we were to say, I'm going to achieve that, I'm going to be gung-ho, I'm going to achieve that thing in 90 days. Okay, well, now I have to look at where is it actually going to fit in my weekly time, not even day to day, weekly time, right? So let's so kind of reverse engineering a little bit. Yeah. So if I have set myself a goal of signing up, and let's say I give myself 12 weeks to reach diamond, and I know it takes 12 coaches minimum in order to achieve diamond, then I'm going to say, okay, if I'm one coach a week, and I know that it takes me about, let's just say, every 5 people I talk to that agree to sign up with as either a discount with the challenge pack or to start the business, for every 5 people, one says yes to the coaching opportunity and they sign up as a coach. Then how many and how long does it take me to get those 5 people, or how many conversations does it take for me to get those 5 people? So these are the kind of questions that you want to start to ask yourself. But very basically, you just need to at least be looking at your normal day and saying, when am I going to find the time? You know, is it going to be after my kids go to bed? Is it going to be during their nap time? Is it going to be pockets of time where it's like 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the car before I walk in back into the office? Is it going to be 20 minutes around, or maybe it's going to be during my lunch hour or half of my lunch time? Maybe it's going to be that first hour when I get home from my day job that I'm going to devote towards working on this goal. Is it going to be, that like 30 minutes before I start cooking dinner? Whatever the time frame is, being honest and looking at your day. And what is it that I'm going to have to start saying no to? And I'm going to have to start getting used to saying yes to. And then if we have no idea, ask somebody, okay, who has already accomplished what your goals are, and say, hey, where did you sacrifice the time? Where did you carve the time out? How long did it take you to achieve that thing? And being okay with, okay, maybe I don't binge watch Netflix for 2 hours every night. Maybe I only watch 1 hour. Maybe my goal of creating that extra $5,000 a month, I need to cut back on my volunteer hours until I create it, and then I can put my volunteer hours back in, right? One of the tools that I've used before, and I'll share it in our team page, is a time log. And literally, it's just a piece of paper that goes from like 6 a.m. at half-hour increments all the way through the day to, the time I hit my pillow at night. What is it that I am doing in a regular day? Sometimes you have that paper with you and you literally like through the day say, okay, from this time I'm getting showered, this time I was praying and doing devotional, this time I was eating breakfast, and this time I was going to work. And you do that through your entire day. And then when you're done with that time log, you look at the time log and you're able to see where some of the time was given over to things like the Netflix and the volunteering or whatever it is. And some of your time was distracted time where you could have been a little bit more efficient and maybe create it, like technically it shouldn't have taken me 3 hours to do that thing. So I would be able to have an hour of time right there. So it helps you, see more vividly, because it's all on a piece of paper, where you could create your time to make the business hours, make the time or find that window of time that you're going to be able to do the activities that you need, and create a structure in your day where there is no structure right now. Most of the time, whenever we're saying that we need help with time management, it's because we have not brought any structure to our day. And in the sense that we are not yet being intentional with our day, right? Now, what I mean by that is we are very intentional about what time we're getting to our day job. right? Because there's an expectation that has been put in place. If we are told by our boss to be there at 8 a.m., we're probably there 10 minutes before 8, right? We are making sure that we are able to clock in and be there on time because the expectation is there. Now, when we're setting goals for ourselves in other areas of life, we need to create that same atmosphere of expectation. The only difference is that we're the ones setting the expectation instead of somebody else. And that's why I said we need to create the emotional connection so that we feel as driven for the thing that we're doing for ourselves as we do for the other person, right? So Sunday planning 30-10. So what that means is I like to live by the rule of, I have a planner. So I'm going to hold it up. I know you can't really see, but I have a planner, and I used to use Google Calendar. So you can use Google Calendar. Most people have that on their phone, or you can easily do it as an app. But I take the time to look at my week, Monday through Sunday, and I spend 30 minutes on Sunday looking at my week ahead and pinning in the things that are going to happen that week. And then every day I take 10 minutes in the morning to kind of reassess and look into my day and be like, okay, this is what the plan is today. This is what my intentions are for today. And if I have set aside time for my kids' doctor's appointments and my work hours and taking care of an errand that I have to run, and then I also have time set aside that I've said, oh, I'm going to spend 2 hours on inviting someone to my upcoming challenge group, and I'm going to check into my challenge group and say that I did my workout, and I'm going to actually plan my meals for the week, or whatever it is that I said that in that 2-hour time I'm going to do. I'm going to have the same intentions in that 2-hour block as I do for myself in actually accomplishing the errand that I said I was going to run, and the appointment that I have to keep, and the work hours that I have to show up for, right? So I'm going to spend 30 minutes on Sundays to look ahead into my week and write down all the things that are coming up and that I'm going to do with my time in order to move toward my goal. But then I'm also going to take 10 minutes in the morning, each morning, to review that plan and tweak it if I need to before moving into my day, right? And here's the most important part if you're married. Communicate those goals to those that will be affected, and not even just your husband, but also your children, so that they understand when they see you sitting at your computer, right, that, oh, I know what she's doing because she communicated to me that she was going to be on a team call tonight, like my daughter just did, right? So, or I actually put it in my Google Calendar and I sync it to my husband so that he knows what my calendar is for all of my coaching business activities, and as well as my gym hours when I'm teaching classes, and if I sign up to sub for somebody, something that's out of the norm, that's my way of making sure he is always in the loop. And so he knows, and he's not going to get frustrated because he's going to be like, why were you on your computer for an hour? He knows because it's been communicated, and that will take out all kinds of negative tension that can build up. All right, so let's move on to the good stuff. What goes on the calendar? When you're sitting down to do that Sunday planning session, the first thing you want to do, and go ahead and take a pencil out right now, or take a picture of this with your phone, and take some notes. The very first thing you want to do is start with the non-negotiables. Start with the things that have to happen, right? So I have to be at work from 7 A to 5 P. I need to get my workout in. I need, 40 minutes to get my workout in. So I'm going to pencil that in. Like, actually block it off in your calendar. Color code it is a really great thing you can do in your Google calendars. I like to put all of my kids' activities in purple, and I put all of my gym classes in red. So, you could put your day job in red and your kid appointments or activities in purple, your spouse activities in blue, you know, whatever it is. And then I put my business activities in green, you know, things like that. So that visually, when you quickly glance at your calendar, you can see like the flow of your day and where your energy is going to go. Number 2, block off date nights and family time and purposeful white space. That time in your life, remember I told you we are not trying to create a day where I'm always going, because that's going to lead to burnout. What I want is to be very intentional with my work time and my goal, the time that I'm using to work towards my goals, so that I can also have very intentional white space, fun time, me time, family time, date night, you know, that kind of stuff. The undivided attention where I can literally put my phone away and be very present with my family and not be distracted by the to-do list that I did not get accomplished that I said I would do for myself, right? All right, on the next one. So number 3, what goes on the calendar? When will your business hours be, is the question, right? So you need to decide, like I said, is it going to be 20 minutes? Like, are you going to be able, what is your goal? Are you wanting to work on your business an hour a day, 2 hours a day? Okay. And then just look at your day and be very honest. When could I create that 2-hour time frame? Is it, you know, 30 minutes in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, and then 30 minutes in the evening? Maybe I only have 45 minutes a day to very intentionally work on business activities. When is that 45 minutes going to happen? Is it 15 minutes here and 30 minutes later? I mean, what is it? Pencil it in. Number 4, pencil in what sacrifices will you have to make to reach your goals? Okay, so when you're looking at your calendar and you're realizing, okay, I really want to accomplish this goal and it's going to require that I set aside 3 hours on a Thursday or a Sunday night or whatever to achieve it, then, you know, maybe I originally had something else planned on that Sunday night that I'm going to be willing to say no to, so that I can say yes to accomplishing the goal and accomplishing it in the time frame that I said it was important for me to accomplish it within, right? Number 5, next is what to do during those business hours. What am I doing in the middle of those business hours? Now I'm going to get very specific with you on next Wednesday night in the team training. I'm going to share with you, if you're wanting to work as a coach and you're like, what do I do? Like how should I organize my time to be doing those business activities? Then I'm going to show you the system that I use, so that my time is very intentional. When I sit down and I only have literally an hour of time to get things accomplished, and I need to know what are my most important activities that are going to help create the outcome that I want out of that time, you know, whether it's income, number of conversations, you know, whatever it is, then I'm going to share that system with you. So you're going to know exactly how I do it. Okay. But it's very, very important that you ask yourself, okay, what is it I need to be doing? Right. So here's the thing. When you sit down to create your to-do list, you're going to first and foremost you're going to have a brain dump. You're going to write down like literally anything and everything, all the things that come to your mind that you know that you want to get done in your business. Maybe you told yourself, hey, I want to create a new theme for my upcoming challenge group. Maybe it's you said that you wanted to create a new graphic for the cover photo. I mean, whatever it is. You write down all the to-dos on your paper. It's just like you would if you were also looking at your health and fitness goals, and you're looking at creating your workout routine every day, and you're looking at creating your nutrition routine every day, and you're like, oh my gosh, I invested in 2B Mindset, and it's got all these counseling videos that I want to go through. And when am I actually going to watch those videos, but so you're going to say, okay, I'm going to set a goal of watching, 3 videos a week. So when am I going to watch this? So you write down 3 videos, right? You're going to write down, pick out, 3 meals to cook this week, right? And if it's like coaching related, if it's your business related, it would translate the same way. You would say, okay, what's my top goal this week? What are the top 3 tasks per day to support that goal actually getting done? If I set a goal of making sure that I sign up 1 coach this week, okay, then I'm going to write down, sign a coach. Okay, well, in order to sign a coach, I got to have conversations. I got to invite people to actually sign up. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm going to write down all the to-dos. How am I going to do that? Am I going to do a sneak peek? Am I going to invite people to a sneak peek that my upline is already hosting for me? What is it? What are all the things that I've said that I'm going to do? Establishing business hours. That's one of the things you said you're going to do. So then you're gonna plug in the tasks to the work blocks directly into your calendar, right? So let's say on my calendar, whether it's pen or in paper or it's Google Calendar, I said, I set aside 3 hours for project time, and in that so what is my and so project time for me would be like like the creating the graphics or maybe creating the posts for the week or scheduling posts ahead of time, or finding creating the posts for my challenge groups, whatever it is. Then I'm going to, whenever I've already written down project time for those, and I've blocked off those 3 hours. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to plug in, okay, what are the things that I'm going to do during that project time? So I write it in and I say, spend 30 minutes on creating posts or creating a marketing plan. Spend 30 minutes on, or spend 10 minutes on downloading the sample scripts that Angel shared from in the group, spend 45 minutes listening to that team call training. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to write that in, color code it if you need to, like I mentioned. Maximize time and bulk produce social media in one sitting or blocks. That's a tip that I'm giving you. Is there is absolutely no reason for you, if you're a coach and you're creating your own challenge groups, or even if you're hosting them with us, and we've provided the template for you to be able to co-host these groups with us, there is absolutely no reason for you to have to feel like you have to wake up every day and, oh my gosh, I need to set aside 30 minutes to, find the post in the template, copy, paste, find the photo, download it to my phone, then upload it to the post, now post it, that's time sucking. But if you take the time once a week or even once a month to look at all the posts that are already in the template, then in a few minutes, you could literally just copy, paste, and schedule it ahead of time, and your posting is done. It no longer has to be something that is going to monopolize time for you throughout week after week after week, or day after day after day within your calendar. So you're able to maximize your time like that by focusing on one thing. Another idea would be like, let's say you said that you have a goal of going live and doing videos. I'm not going live, but making videos. Then you could, and you have like 3 videos that you want to make. Okay, on a day that that you're already going to have your hair and makeup done and you're going to have the time to record them, then you're going to record all 3 videos, just change the clothes and maximize that time that, by blocking off the time to make all 3 at one time, instead of having to go through the process of getting ready for that 3 times a week, where it would take even more time, right? So just being really smarter, working smarter, not harder. And then do regular gut check and goals checks on a regular basis. Asking yourself, okay, is this activity that I'm writing down in my calendar, is it going to help me reach my goal, or is it going to actually be off task, right? So, and making sure that if it's a business related goal, that the activity is an actual income producing activity so that you can reach your goal. And so what is it that, do a little self-reflection too at the end of the week or at the end of your day, and be like, okay, what did I actually get out of that time block that I set for myself? And identifying, like, was I productive in that time, or did I get off task, and why? So that you can be more honest moving forward. So here's some more tips. Eliminate distractions during your work time. Okay, so you've now set aside the time in your calendar. And so what are you going to do when you actually sit down at your iPad or your phone or your computer, and you're saying, okay, I set aside this 20 minutes to start do these invitations or follow up on these conversations. And then what happens? You sit down and you go, okay, 20 minutes, right? And you have your phone there, and you start saying, well, I'm going to clear these notifications real quick, right? So I'm going to answer that message real quick. She wants to know about this. I'm going to return that text to mom. I'm going to, oh, look, that's a funny meme. And like, then you're scrolling and you're saying, oh, look how cute the new baby is, blah, blah. You get sidetracked. And before you know it, it's now been 30 minutes, not 20 minutes, and you've completely been off task. You've done everything but the one thing that you actually sat down to do on your phone, right? So you want to make sure that in order to be very intentional with your time, if you set aside 30 minutes to accomplish something, that you are looking at your list and you're saying, what is it that I'm doing during this 30 minutes? It's this. Okay, so in order to do that, I need to do 1, 2, 3. Number 1, do it. Number 2, do it. Like number 3, read it, do it. So you're always working from a list. It's going to help keep you focused. And turn off the notifications. I don't know if you know, but there are actual settings to your phone, not just in the apps themselves. So you're able to turn all notifications off for your entire phone. Any and all apps that are on your phone, you can turn them all off with one click of a button, and then turn them back on whenever you're done with your work time, right? So another thing is, only have one screen open at a time. I'm really guilty of this. When I sit at my desktop, I will have like 10 different windows open, and then that leads to me being very scattered sometimes, and having to remind myself over and over again, oh yeah, what was it I working at? What was it I was doing? And then having to get back on task. And it's a time sucker, right? I want to be more efficient with my time, so I'm going to focus on one screen at a time. Sometimes it means that you have to actually put a freaking sticky note on the screen over the little pop-up windows as they come up. If you get those little notifications, because if your desktop is set to like give you little notifications, or like you're on Facebook and you're working on Facebook and you got to cover that chat with a little sticky note on your desktop screen, then do that. Whatever it is you got to do, but clear those notifications. Put your phone on silent so you can set your intentions and work more efficiently. So another thing is, work by a timer. So whether it is a timer on your like a little egg timer, like a cook time, like the little cooking timers that you get for your kitchen, whether it's one of those dials that you do, or if it's a timer that you set like a stopwatch kind of thing on your phone, or you set a physical alarm on on your desk that you say, okay, 1 hour from now, click, I want that alarm to go off. So now it's like a race against the clock, and it creates a sense of urgency for you to get the thing done. If any of you have heard Josh Coates talk on urgency, then you know the importance of creating that urgency so that you are actually motivated and to get the things done. So it creates pressure for you to get it done, and get it done on time. So you're a lot more efficient with your time, because you're just focused on, I need to hurry up and get this done. I'm just going to power through it so I can hurry up and get to the next thing, right? And you're going to blow through it a whole lot faster than if you sat down and if you just kind of said, oh, I'm just going to do what I can do and get done what I can get done, and I'm just going to be about it, and then when you look up and it's been like 2 hours and you haven't really gotten anything accomplished, or you got to only accomplish what you could have gotten done in 20 minutes if you had been more intentional about it. And what you do is, too, another thing you can do is you can create a reward system for yourself for after you've completed that work block. You say, okay, I'm going to be very intentional for the next 30 minutes. I'm going to get this thing done. I'm going to get 10 conversations done, and I'm going to get 5 invites sent out, and I'm going to check in with my challenge group. I'm going to get it all done in 30 minutes. And you get, or an hour, whatever it is. And so what is it that I'm going to give myself as a reward? Well, how am I going to reward myself at the end of that hour? Maybe it's actually going to do that Netflix binge with the ice cream, right? Whatever it is, that's your, set it up so that you're motivated to get that time block done. All right. So gut check yourself daily. And these are some things that you would do as a part of that gut check. Did I get you would ask yourself, did I get the most important things done? Did I get the most important things done? Not did I get some things done? Oh, well, at least I did this today. No, did I get the most important things done? The things that were most important to me that really helped me move the needle forward for whatever the goal was that I set for myself. And if I didn't get the most important things done for myself, then I want to set my intentions to get them done before going to bed. Do you know how many times I've gone to bed and I have had restless sleep because I did not accomplish in the day what I said I was going to accomplish, or I forgot to do the one thing that I knew I wanted to get done before the next day? And so it's like this unrest is now created in my innermost being, and it keeps me like restless through the night. And I wake up immediately in a flustered kind of state, like you know, I didn't get that thing done. Now I got to get it. And I'm like preoccupied with it because now I can't do it, maybe because I have to do something else before I'll have the time later set aside to be able to do it. And I'm almost impatient with all of the first half of my day waiting for that work block to arrive for me to actually get it done, right? So whereas if I would have gotten it, if I had set my intentions the day before, created the space for it, and done it in the time frame that I initially set myself for to get it accomplished, then I wouldn't be bringing that frustration to the next day. And so I'm living a more happy, peaceful, joyful day-to-day life. Set the next day's to-do list and priorities. So whether you have something like Chalene Johnson's push journal, or you have the Rise Up planner, or you just have a regular journal, or you have a memo on your phone, and whatever it is that you use, write down. And when you're writing down to when you remember I said the 30 minutes on Sundays and then 10 minutes at the top of your day, like when you wake up in the morning, or maybe you wake up and you immediately do your workout and then you look at your day. Whenever your 10 minutes is to look at your day, you know, make sure it's close by you and it's within the space of your normal morning routine, so that you're able, don't make it be like somewhere else in the house that you're going to forget. Like if I never go in my office in the morning hours before I leave the house, I don't want to keep it in my office. I want to keep it near my bed, or I want to keep it in my living room area where I actually work out and then have my coffee, you know? So that it becomes part of my immediate environment to look at every day, to set my priorities, and remind myself what it is that I really want to accomplish that day, and stir up that motivation to get it done. If it's always in the other room, or I don't get intentional about reminding myself of what my priorities are, I will continuously forget to actually do something about it until like 5 days, 6 days, 7 months later, when I wake up and I go, you know what? I said back in May that I was going to do something about that. And here I am in December, and sure never did anything about that. Wow. I wonder why. I got sidetracked. And it was just because a simple thing like being intentional with a to-do list every day, you know, wasn't done. So do that time log that I told you about. And like I said, I'm going to create a template, or I'm going to provide a sample of that for you in our team page, and find out, like, be honest, look at where your time is going right now and where you can tweak it. Become aware of where you become distracted, and then also become aware of where you're most productive. If you have like like it's an ongoing joke in my house. I am not a morning person, right? I do not think the sharpest first thing in the morning, which is actually why I prefer to do my workout first thing in the morning. Because whenever I start doing my workout in the morning, I do it without thinking about it. I lay out my clothes as part of my setting the next day's to-do list and priorities. I lay out my workout clothes the night before so that when I wake up, okay, I immediately go to those workout clothes and put them on. And by putting them on, by setting them out, I set intention for myself from those first few moments when I wake up. I don't want the feeling of walking by those workout clothes and not putting them on. I don't want that let down kind of feeling, you know? So I'm going to be motivated to put the clothes on. And once I put the clothes on, well, I'm dressed for it. Might as well do it, right? And so I'm starting my workout, and I'm not like firing on all cylinders yet. I couldn't have a full conversation with you yet. I'm not quite there yet because I'm not that morning person. But by the end of my workout, now the adrenaline's going and I've got some endorphins going and I'm feeling real good. And like now my brain is on. And so in those hours following my workout, up until probably about 2 o'clock, those are my most productive hours. And then within those productive hours, probably from the like 8:30 time to maybe noon, maybe even 11:30 is my most creative time. Those are the times where I have the most brain power and I'm in the most creative juices for actually making stuff happen from a positive space, you know. So those are so if I'm wanting to create a graphic and I know that I need to be like kind of creatively alive, then I'm not going to schedule that for myself to do that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I know that my energy is starting to do this and my brain is like changing gears to something else, right? So I'm going to make sure that when I'm scheduling myself those particular tasks within the time blocks, that it's going to go along with what my energy is during that part of the day, right? And if I'm constantly trying to make myself do a workout at 8 o'clock at night and it's not working because I am not motivated at 8 o'clock at night, right? Then I need to find a new time for when it is going to, I'm actually going to follow through with it instead of torturing myself and trying to make myself make it happen at that time, at that 8 o'clock hour, right? So same thing with my business. I'm not going to try to, if I'm consistently telling myself that I'm going to send out messages at 8 o'clock at night, and then 8 o'clock at night comes and I'm consistently feeling like, you know, I have no brain juice to have a conversation at 8 o'clock at night, then I'm not going to, for me, at 6 a.m. I'm not going to try to have conversations and reply to people's messages to me at 6 o'clock in the morning because it's going to take me twice as long to answer them because my brain isn't on yet. So I'm going to wait until like that 8 to 9-ish hour. And that's when I'm going to start replying to messages. You feel what I'm saying? So honor your energy and understand when you're mostly distracted and when you're mostly productive and why, and kind of create that space. And overcome the need to be perfect. Like, okay, so action is where it's at. Not doing anything because you're scared of doing it wrong or imperfectly, or, you know, thinking I could do it better if I wait till 2 days from now is not the answer. That's going to create that frustration. You're going to constantly quit on yourself and not actually accomplish anything. So you want to overcome the perfectionism and give yourself the grace to know that it's not going to be immediate. This is going to be a process of you conquering your time and owning your day and setting this structure where previously there has not been any. So it might take that full 21 days of practicing it to make it a habit and tweaking it along the way. It might take 30 days before you master. It might take 90 days before you master and the process and you go, oh, I'm in a groove now. Now I feel really good. It might take you a month or two of tweaking it, trying something out for a week, realizing like, hey, like 8 o'clock at night is not my time to be doing invitations. I want to be doing my invites, you know, during my lunch hour. That's whenever I feel the most on it, you know, when the words just, you know, I feel motivated to talk to people. I don't feel like talking to people at 8 o'clock at night, you know, and so maybe it took you a week or two to figure that out. And so then you moved it into a new part of the day, and that meant you had to move something that you initially were doing at lunchtime over into the 8 o'clock at night hour. That's okay. Give yourself the time to figure that out and tweak it as you go. Just stay committed to the process of disciplining yourself in time management. Don't give up on yourself. What does that accomplish? How does that help you get anywhere near your goals? It doesn't. And you're tired of being stuck, aren't you? You're tired of living of where you've been. You don't want to abandon your goals because you can't figure it out or because it's going to take you a little bit longer to discipline yourself. No, realize, hey, this is worth the time and the efforts of disciplining myself in the time of time management so I can reach that goal. That goal is worth me establishing this routine, right? So, and remind yourself, hey, you're worth it too. You absolutely deserve every good thing that God has for you that's hidden within this dream of a goal that so far is only in your heart and mind. You know, you are worth going for that thing and spending the time. Delegation and automation. So when we're talking about coaching in particular, your business hours and the activities within those hours, these are some extra tips as I'm getting ready to close. Delegate to your team as it grows. Don't feel like you have to do all the things all the time. Otherwise, you will never create space for growth. So maybe that means that when you, part of your goal setting, that extra $5,000 a month, maybe part of that $5,000 for you means that you get to hire a housekeeper, you know, to come mop your floor so you don't have to spend that time to do it. And you can devote that time to something else. Maybe it's bringing your kids to the park. I don't know, you know, or maybe it's to be able to create that extra hour that you'd be able to put into your business hours so that you could reach your next goal even sooner. Right. So but feel free to delegate to your team as it grows, and realize that, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's, you know, imperfect is better than not done. Okay. So even if you know, hey, I could do it better, well, give someone else the grace to learn the ropes and do it imperfectly, so that you are able to grow at yourself and in the areas that you know you want to, and they're able to grow as an individual and a business owner as well. And in that way, you are teaching and mentoring them as well. And your team will be stronger for it. So Google Streak, in Google Streak and Google Docs, utilize these things. Okay, so I don't use Google Streak anymore, but it is an awesome tool if you need a free tool for the keeping track of your conversations, your emails to and from people who you're inviting to things and following up with them. If you're just working loosely from Facebook Messenger or something, you're going to lose those conversations. So you need sort of like a tracking system. I'm going to talk more about this next week. But and how the things that I use, which is the MCB that you see there on the screen. I use a tracking system called My Connection Builder. Some people use Asana, some people use TeamZ. So there's several different ones, but give yourself permission to find the system that works for you, and utilize things like Planoly or the scheduling feature in Facebook, where you can schedule ahead your posts. And just get in the habit of, you know, on Sunday when you schedule your week ahead, maybe you take that extra 30 minutes to plan out your posts for the week too, you know. So like you typed out, or you copied, you typed out in a Google Doc these are the things I want to talk about on Monday. These are the things, this is the post I'm going to make on Tuesday. This is the post I'm going to make on Wednesday. On Thursday, I'm going to do a live video. On Friday, I'm going to make a face-to-face Friday post, and, I'm going to do a side-by-side photo or whatever. And go ahead and take the time to like type what that post is going to look like, whether it's for your page or it's for your group post, like we mentioned earlier. And when if it's, go ahead and type it all up in one sitting. And that way you can then either in the same sitting or later you've set aside a second time block in your calendar to actually schedule the things. So you're going to copy and paste like a champ from your doc into your Facebook and schedule that post, that first post for Monday. Copy, paste, schedule that post for Tuesday. Copy, paste, schedule that post for Wednesday. And then literally in 15 minutes, you can have all your posts scheduled for the entire week. And all you have to do throughout the week is like and comment on everybody commenting on your stuff. You know what I'm saying? And have those conversations with people and make those connections. But be smarter. Don't work harder, work smarter. Delegate and put where there's an opportunity for you to get some things automated, do that. There's no need to reinvent the wheel either. So if somebody has already created a system, use it. Don't feel like you have to create your own. That just takes, that's going to take you 2 weeks to create, and somebody else already created it. Do it. Run with it. Saying no somewhere is required. Some people would, instead of saying no somewhere, you could also say sacrifice somewhere is required. It is. When you're talking about wanting to create something new in your life, something that is already existing has got to go. And that's a fact of life for whatever you're talking about. Okay. So like I said, whether it's sacrificing that extra third hour of Netflix binging and, instead saying I'm going to do an hour and a half worth of work and then I'm going to do an hour and a half of Netflix binging, So, but being able to say no somewhere and not saying yes to everything. If you've never heard the book, The Best Yes, I invite you to read it. Lisa TerKeurst really helps to walk you through understanding where your best yeses are and how to say that anointed no, how to learn how to say no to the things that are not going to serve your goals, and understanding that there is no such thing as a perfectly balanced life, but you can create your own sense of balance in your life. So maybe for me, if I'm creating my calendar every week, and for me, I am able to work 2 hours on Tuesdays, but I'm able to work 3 hours on Mondays and Thursdays, and I can only work 30 minutes on Wednesdays, and I can't work at all Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's my life balance, so that I have my white space and my family time and all those things, but then I also have my work time. But as long as I've created that structure, my structure doesn't have to look like the next person's structure. It doesn't have to look exact. Your schedule doesn't have to look like mine. It needs to be your own version of balance so that you are able to drop the mom guilt. You are able to leave the frustrated husband out of the picture. So he's not frustrated with you is what I'm saying, right? You are able to be that living example, though, at the same time where you're, if you do have kids or if you do have a spouse, they're, instead of being frustrated or disappointed with you, they're looking at you and they're seeing you're putting in the time to work hard, but that you're also putting in the time to live hard too, to be present and to, be fully alive and joyful, and you're being intentional on both fronts. So maybe, like I said, maybe that means Monday through Thursday, your 90% of your work time is Monday through Thursday, and only 10% is Friday through Sunday. Like maybe you just make a post and you reply to comments, but you don't do an inviting or connecting on that day. You do all your networking and inviting and connecting and replying to messages Monday through Thursday, because those are the best days for you to do those things. So give yourself permission to find your balance. It doesn't have to look like everybody else. And then ultimately, take ownership of your business. That's really what time management is all about. Stop waiting for permission from somebody, whether it's your upline or your spouse or whoever. Stop waiting for them to give you permission or to tell you, hey, stop watching Netflix. And man, I'm really picking on Netflix tonight, aren't I? Stop doing that thing and go do your workout that you said that you need to do. Didn't you say you had a goal of doing 5 workouts a week? You need to stop doing that and go do the workout. Stop waiting for somebody to tell you that. You are when you're talking about this time management thing, you are developing that discipline muscle to create your own motivation, right? So it's all about you're learning how to create a self-motivation. So stop waiting for permission and waiting to be told what to do like you're an employee, because you're not. You're now the owner and the CEO. One, you are the owner and CEO of your life. And now you're also the owner and CEO of your own business. So nobody else decides the pace or the fate of your growth except you, right? And the sooner that we realize that, that urgency and that set of expectations that I was talking about earlier is created, an awareness of an urgency to get the things done to get to where we want to be. So, all right. In our next call, we're going to be talking about the Biz Tracker system, what to do weekly, and how to track it to grow your business. I'm going to stop my share, and I'm going to end the recording, but I want to thank everybody who was able to plug into this training. I hope that it is helpful to you, and that you will leave the comments and the questions you have in the team page. If you are not able to ask me on this call tonight live, and I will make sure that I circle back around and work with you. And if you want a one-on-one with me to help you kind of do this in real time, you can schedule that. Just go to the my Calendly calendar to schedule that one-on-one coaching session with me, and I'll mentor you through like how to do this time block thing, and I'll help you do it in real time. Okay. All right. Y'all have a great night. I'm going to stop the recording now.